Gabby Golmay, and this is ISTV News. First, the top story. Since ministers are found acting against people's interest, demand for change in Council of Ministers made by 26 MLAs, reports say. Now the news in detail. Ministers under Chief Minister O. Ibobi in the third term of the Congress government have been continuing to act against the interest of the people. The demand for a change in the Council of Ministers had been made by 26 MLAs in an ultimatum submitted to the Chief Minister recently, a reliable source said. The source said, as many as the ministers have been found acting only in the interest of their brothers, families and close relatives, work for the welfare of the people have been left aside. As those ministers who had not actively taken part in the recent Lok Sabha elections would like to remain clinging to their seats of power, are awarding contract works to those who might become potential detractors. As a result, there is hardly any good governance under the present government in the state. People's disenchantment is increasing day by day. The 26 MLAs had written to the Chief Ministers in their ultimatum that except for the Chief Minister, all the present ministers should be replaced and new ministers must be appointed. However, there is no question of toppling the government. The source further said that if the Chief Minister does not give a concrete assurance to what the 26 MLAs are demanding before the oncoming monsoon session of the Assembly, it is too early to say what course of action will be taken. On the other hand, one of the present ministers told ISTV News that he doesn't know anything about the issue. It is difficult to give comment on something that he doesn't know. For him, he shall continue to do whatever he has to do, he said. Other ministers were not available for comment on the excuse that some of them were out of station or attending a meeting. Meanwhile, the stand of the 5 MSCP MLAs who had merged with Congress is not yet known. Now let's take a look at national and international news. Senior BJP leader Yashwant Singha was today released from jail in Jharkhand, the result of his agreeing to pay bail on Wednesday, a move he had resisted for several days. Mr. Singha, 76, was arrested a fortnight ago for inciting a group of BJP workers to tie up an electricity board official to protest against a lengthy power crisis in the politician's former constituency of Hazaribagh. After leaving prison, he is expected to travel to a nearby village to inaugurate an electricity project. Sending out yet another loud and clear signal of his intent for more governance, less government, the Prime Minister's office on Thursday asked all National Disaster Management Agency members to resign, said sources. There are a total of 7 members in the NDMA: Shashidhar Reddy, K.M. Singh, B. Bhattacharya, J.K. Singha, Muzaffar Ahmad, K. Salim Ali, and Major General J.K. Bansal. Ali, a 1978 batch IPS officer, was the latest entrant in the NDMA. He was Special CBI Director and investigated Isra Jahan fake encounter case. The Home Secretary had called all NDMA members on Wednesday to resign. NDMA members said, "We are sending a letter to the government with our stand." Sources in the NDMA said that if the government insisted, then they will resign. The post of the NDMA is equivalent to that of Minister of State level. The Modi government is planning to allow foreign direct investment (FDI) into railways to finance its ambitious plans to modernize the sector. At present, there is a complete ban on any kind of FDI in railways except mass rapid transport systems. Railways Minister D.V. Sadananda Gowda on Thursday said the government is short of resources and some resource mobilization should be taken as a priority. "I want to have discussion with Commerce Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who has asked me to come up with proposals. I think in 3 to 4 days we will come to a conclusion," said Mr. Gowda. Modernization and revamping of railways is the top infrastructure agenda of the government, which wants to build a diamond quadrilateral project of high-speed trains and a network of freight corridors over the next few years. These projects require very large capital investments. Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj today said all efforts are underway to rescue the 40 Indians kidnapped in Iraq. We are doing all that a government should do. I am personally supervising the efforts. I will leave no stone unturned in keeping our countrymen safe, Ms. Swaraj said a day after the government confirmed that the men had been kidnapped in the captured Iraqi city of Mosul, which fell to Sunni insurgents on June 10. Relatives of 12 of the kidnapped Indians will meet the minister this evening. Ms. Swaraj said, I want to assure the families that the government and we will try our very best, make every effort. Reports suggest that the Iraqi government has said the Indians are safe. Many of the Indians are from Punjab and worked for Baghdad-based construction company Tariq Noor Al-Huda. Among those meeting the foreign minister today are the relatives of Dharmender, Balwinder Singh and Kamaljit. The Supreme Court has agreed to an early hearing for a case that challenges the appointment of Lieutenant General Dalbir Singh Suhag as the Indian Army's new chief. Lieutenant General Ravi Disdan has told judges that the selection is mired in favoritism. The top court said today that it will hear his petition early next month, weeks before Lieutenant General Suhag is scheduled to take over as Chief of Army Staff on August 1. Defense Minister Arun Jaitley told Parliament earlier this month that the appointment of Lieutenant General Suhag was final. His assertion came after the government was left embarrassed by one of its ministers, former Army Chief General V.K. Singh, tweeting against the Army Chief designate. Iraqi government forces battled Sunni militants for control of the country's biggest refinery on Thursday as Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki waited for a U.S. response to an appeal for airstrikes to beat back the threat to Baghdad. The sprawling Baizi refinery, 200 kilometers north of the capital near Tikrit, was a battlefield as troops loyal to the Shiite-led government held off insurgents from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant and its allies who had stormed the perimeter a day earlier, threatening national energy supplies. Video aired by Al Arabiya television showed smoke billowing from the plant and a black flag used by ISIL flying from a building. Workers trapped inside the complex, which spreads for miles close to the Tigris River, said Sunni militants seemed to hold most of the compound and that the security forces were concentrated around the refinery's control room. Iraqi security officials have denied that the plant was close to falling. The 250 to 300 remaining staff were evacuated early on Thursday. One of those workers said by telephone military helicopters had attacked militant positions overnight, he added. Before we end, a quick recap on the top story. Since ministers are found acting against people's interest, demand for change in Council of Ministers made by 26 MLAs, reports say. That's all we have for now. Stay tuned for more updates.